What if I told you that the difference between staying stuck and building unstoppable wealth has nothing to do with how much you earn, but everything to do with how you think? Most people are trapped in a cycle of trying to look successful, while the truly wealthy are busy becoming it, quietly, steadily, and without needing anyone's applause. In today's video, you're not just going to hear about money. You're going to hear a mindset shift so powerful, it could rewrite the way you see value, time, and purpose. This is not about chasing luxury. It's about chasing freedom. It's about waking up every day with a clear mission, the discipline to execute it, and the patience to build something that lasts. If you've ever felt like you're meant for more, if you've ever wondered why some people attract abundance while others chase it endlessly, this message is for you. You're going to learn how the most powerful people don't just earn, they own. They don't broadcast their wealth. They build it behind the scenes, and you can do the same. But only if you choose to play the long game, the real game, where quiet confidence replaces loud insecurity. So don't just watch this video, absorb it. Let it challenge your thinking, ignite your drive, and push you to make better choices not just for today, but for the version of you that's waiting 5 years from now. Stay with me until the end, and I promise, this won't just be content. This will be a turning point. When you think big, you create a vision that pulls you forward with momentum, clarity, and drive. Vision isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for anyone who wants to build something extraordinary. It's the difference between waking up and reacting to life versus waking up and directing it. When you give your mind permission to think beyond limits, beyond obstacles, beyond excuses, you begin to operate from a space of possibility rather than fear. A big vision becomes your internal GPS. It may not map out every turn, but it gives you a powerful destination worth pursuing. The future belongs to the bold, and boldness starts in the mind long before it becomes a reality. You have to give yourself permission to believe that you were meant for something greater, not because of where you're from, what you have, or who you know, but because you have the courage to dream bigger than your circumstances. Every great innovator, leader, or wealth creator started with a vision that felt too big for the room they were in. That's the secret. It always starts as a seed that looks out of place in the soil it's planted in. But big thinkers are not afraid of being misunderstood, judged, or even laughed at, because they know what they see in their minds is more powerful than what others say in the moment. Vision creates velocity because it makes every small action meaningful. When you know where you're going, you stop wasting time, you stop asking for permission, you stop chasing validation, you start moving with precision and persistence, and that creates momentum. And momentum is how you get noticed, how you attract resources, how you turn ideas into income and dreams into structure. It's how people begin to say, "You're lucky," and not realizing it was your vision that moved you before anything else did. Thinking big isn't just about wealth, it's about impact. It's about changing the story your family tells, shifting culture, and opening doors for others. It's not fantasy, it's strategy, and once you believe it's possible, you begin to act like it already is. Starting small is not a compromise, it's a strategy. It's the blueprint for how real success unfolds. Every towering skyscraper began with a single brick. Every 7-figure business started with a single client. Every thought leader, every influencer, every innovator you admire today once began with a humble, often overlooked beginning. The difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck is that the successful ones didn't wait for the perfect moment. They acted. They took what little they had, applied it with excellence, and trusted that the momentum would grow from there. They weren't paralyzed by how far they had to go. They were energized by how much they could do today. We live in a world obsessed with quick success, with viral moments, with instant wins. But the truth is, the most sustainable, respected, and resilient achievements are the ones forged over time. When you start small, you develop grit. You build character, you sharpen your focus, and more than anything, you earn your growth. There's a kind of dignity and power in showing up consistently, day after day, before anyone is watching. That's where real mastery is developed, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows of repetition and quiet discipline. Too many people get discouraged because their start doesn't look impressive, but that's not the point. What matters is that you start, that you commit, that you become the kind of person who honors the process, not just the prize. Because success that comes too quickly often disappears just as fast. But when you build it from the ground up, when you start with small, intentional steps, you create something that lasts, something you can be proud of, something that doesn't just look good, but is good through and through. And here's what most people don't realize. Starting small doesn't mean thinking small. You can hold a massive vision in your heart and still take tiny, consistent actions toward it every day. In fact, that's the most powerful combination: vision rooted in execution. Big dreams with boots on the ground, that's how movements begin. That's how legacies are built. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the next right thing, again and again, until the results speak for themselves. When you start small, you also get feedback fast. You learn quicker. You adjust smarter. And in a world that moves this fast, your ability to evolve is your greatest edge. So don't despise the small beginning. Celebrate it, because if you're willing to be faithful with the little, you're preparing yourself to handle the much. And once you've earned your way forward, no one can take that away from you. You won't just have success. You'll have the wisdom and strength to sustain it. Acting like the rich doesn't mean mimicking extravagance. It means embracing their mindset. It means shifting how you think, how you move, and how you approach both success and failure. The wealthy don't just have money. They have habits, behaviors, and disciplines that support wealth creation. They make calculated decisions, not emotional ones. They plan decades ahead, not just days. They understand that the real asset is not the car, the house, or the watch. It's the clarity of purpose, the power of choice, and the discipline to delay gratification for something greater. Acting like the rich is about internal posture before external presentation. It's knowing your value before others recognize it. It's investing in skills and relationships that multiply over time. It's understanding that wealth is not only built, it is protected, nurtured, and grown through strategic intention. The wealthy think in terms of return, not just reward. They don't ask, "Can I afford it?" They ask, "Is this a smart move?" They know the difference between spending and investing, between impressing and progressing. When you begin acting like the rich, you stop living in reaction to your environment and start creating it. You become more intentional with your time because you realize time is the most precious currency. You start building networks, not just friendships. You seek information, not validation. You look for leverage points in your career, your business, and your daily routine. This shift in thinking changes everything. Because once you start thinking like an investor in your own life, you stop tolerating what drains you and start pursuing what develops you. The rich are not afraid of taking risks, but their risks are educated. They don't bet blindly. They calculate, they research, they move, and if they fail forward. That's what gives them the upper hand. It's not luck. It's not privilege. It's preparation meeting opportunity. Acting like the rich also means mastering emotional intelligence. They don't react. They respond. They don't need to dominate every room because they've already mastered the one that matters most, their own mind. You notice how calm real power is? That's not by accident, that's by design. They understand that chaos is expensive, drama is distracting, and pride can destroy even the most solid foundation. So, they choose their energy wisely. They protect their peace like it's gold, because it is, and so should you. The real flex is being in control of your emotions, your schedule, and your focus. That's what the rich do. They don't chase. They attract through clarity, confidence, and consistent execution. So when I say act like the rich, I'm not talking about faking success. I'm talking about cultivating the internal strength, vision, and strategy that brings real, sustainable success into your life. When you adopt that mindset, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just build, you just move, and before you know it, your life starts looking like the one you once only imagined. Most people want wealth, but very few design their days to align with that desire. They talk about financial freedom while living in routines that create financial captivity. The truth is, success is never an accident. It is a product of daily intention. If your daily habits don't support your future vision, you are building a contradiction, and contradictions never create clarity. The wealthy understand something most people overlook. Your systems determine your success. It's not about how much effort you put in randomly. It's about how smart your systems are daily. Systems beat willpower. Every time you want to change your life, then change your systems. What time you wake up, how you allocate your energy, how you manage your finances, how you feed your mind, what you prioritize when no one's watching. These are the invisible structures that are either moving you toward your financial vision or pulling you away from it. You can't keep spending like a consumer and expect to rise like a creator. You can't continue scrolling through distractions and hope to stumble into impact. There has to be a plan, a rhythm, a structure that guides your action with purpose. That's the difference between those who wish and those who win. A financially disciplined person doesn't just save money, they schedule their growth. They don't leave investments to inspiration. They systematize their inputs. They don't say someday, they say here's what I do daily. That kind of person is unstoppable because they've built a lifestyle that reinforces success instead of undermining it. Systems are your accountability when motivation fades. They are your anchor when life gets noisy. They help automate excellence so you're not relying on feelings, but on structure. Most people wait to feel like doing the right thing. The successful make the right thing the easiest thing to do by embedding it into their systems. That means budgeting isn't optional, it's scheduled. Learning isn't occasional, it's ritual. Networking isn't random, it's intentional. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your systems. And if those systems are rooted in clarity, consistency, and discipline, your success will not be a question of asterisk if asterisk, but asterisk when asterisk. So start building systems that force your standards upward. Create morning routines that anchor your mindset. Build financial habits that reflect your goals, not your impulses. Surround yourself with people who challenge your strategy, not just your feelings. Track your time, your money, your growth, not out of control, but out of commitment. Because if you really want to be rich, not just in money but in mission, you have to engineer your days to match the life you're claiming to chase. There's nothing passive about abundance. It is built brick by brick through daily decisions and disciplined systems. So if you want to attract success that lasts, start creating systems that speak the language of your future, not the excuses of your past. Your life will always reflect what you tolerate daily, so raise your standards. and let your systems enforce them. Wealth doesn't start in your wallet, it starts in your mind. Before money can stay in your account, the right mindset has to take root in your decisions. The truth is, the wealthy don't just act differently, they think differently. They evaluate time differently. They assess risk through a long-term lens. They treat learning as a daily investment. And they make moves not based on emotion but on strategy. You can give a poor thinker $1 million, and they'll lose it in a year. But give a wealthy thinker a setback, and they'll turn it into a foundation. That's the power of mindset, and it's available to anyone who chooses to adopt it. The rich don't chase money, they chase leverage. They don't see expenses, they see assets and liabilities. They don't view time as something to kill, they guard it like it's gold. While most people spend their days reacting, the wealthy spend their time planning, positioning, and planting seeds that will bear fruit later. They don't need applause for every move, they need alignment with their vision, and that vision governs every decision, big or small. It's not magic, it's mental discipline. To think like the wealthy, you must stop thinking like the average. The average person thinks in terms of what's safe, while the wealthy think in terms of what's scalable. The average seeks comfort, the wealthy seek growth. One asks, can I afford this? The other asks, how can I make this an investment? It's not arrogance. It's intentionality. It's a refusal to think small when you are capable of expansion. And that shift doesn't happen once. It has to happen every single day. You must rewire the way you interpret setbacks, reframe your view of failure, and retrain your brain to lean into growth instead of retreating into doubt. Wealthy people make decisions fast and revise them slowly. They trust their data, their intuition, and their values. They don't need 100 opinions. They need clarity. And when they move with purpose. They don't talk about their every move. They let their results speak. They don't justify their ambition. They surround themselves with people who get it. That's the mindset you must begin to adopt. You don't need to mimic every move, but you do need to model their thinking. Because success leaves clues, and the rich think in patterns, not panic. So observe how they build, watch how they spend their mornings, notice how they avoid emotional decisions. Study how they treat their energy, their relationships, their time. Then slowly, intentionally, begin applying those patterns in your own life. You don't have to be rich to start thinking like one. But you'll never become one if you don't start thinking that way today. Because money doesn't change your mind. Your mind changes how money flows to you. Transformation doesn't begin with more money. It begins with a better mindset. Study the way the successful move. Make that mindset your default setting. Because once your thoughts evolve, your outcomes can't help but follow. We live in a world obsessed with appearances, flashy cars, designer labels, luxury vacations. Many chase these symbols of wealth, thinking they define success. But true wealth isn't about showing off, it's about building quietly. The people who look the richest often aren't, and the ones who are truly wealthy, you'd walk past them without even knowing it. Why? Because their money isn't sitting in things that depreciate. It's working for them, quietly, behind the scenes, multiplying itself day after day. That's the difference between looking rich and being rich. Trying to look rich is a game of external validation. It's driven by insecurity, not strategy, and it's expensive. Every dollar spent to impress someone else is a dollar not invested in your future. Real wealth builders don't need the world's approval. They're too focused on building something that will outlast them. They know that the best flex is freedom, not a logo, and freedom is built by putting your money into things that grow in value, businesses, stocks, real estate, intellectual property. Things that generate income while you sleep. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. The people who matter don't care, and the ones who care don't matter. You weren't born to be a billboard for someone else's brand. You were born to create a legacy, and that legacy is built in silence. The discipline to say no to short-term pleasure is the seed of long-term prosperity. Every time you resist the urge to keep up, you're choosing wealth over ego. That decision compounds. Wealth is quiet. It's in the ownership of your time. It's in the confidence of knowing you have control. It's in the ability to walk away from noise and distractions because you've built a foundation that supports you. The ones who last don't rush. They build slowly, wisely, patiently. They don't spend to look successful. They invest to become unshakable, and when their moment arrives, they don't need to shout. Their results will speak volumes. If you want to create real financial power, stop measuring success by what people can see. Start measuring it by what's growing beneath the surface. A flashy lifestyle might get attention, but assets get freedom. Real freedom, the kind that lets you decide how your day goes, the kind that allows you to say no without fear, the kind that buys peace, not pressure. So the next time you're tempted to spend for approval, ask yourself, is this helping me build, or is it stealing my future? Are you trying to look rich, or are you becoming someone whose wealth will speak for itself? The answer will define your future, because the game isn't about how you look today, it's about what you'll own tomorrow. And in that quiet, disciplined pursuit, you'll realize that the richest version of you was never loud. It was focused, consistent, and unstoppable. The truth is, wealth, real wealth, is not built in noise but in silence. It's crafted in the daily disciplines that no one sees, the hard decisions no one applauds, and the delayed gratification most people run from. Thinking big doesn't mean dreaming of mansions or sports cars. It means creating a vision so strong that your actions today become a sacrifice you gladly make for the life you know is coming. Starting small doesn't mean being small. It means understanding that every empire was once just a blueprint, and every successful person once had nothing but belief, and acting like the rich. It's not about what you wear, drive, or post. It's about how you respect your time, how you multiply your resources, how you show up with humility and resilience again and again. Wealth isn't a destination. It's a behavior, a rhythm, a way of thinking. The people who win in the long run aren't the loudest. They're the ones who learn, who apply, who grow quietly until the world has no choice but to notice. So if today's message sparked something inside you, don't let it fade. Take it, act on it, and become the kind of person who doesn't just chase success, but becomes it. Thank you for spending your time with me today. If this video spoke to you, I invite you to like it, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more content that fuels your growth. Remember, your future is built one small action at a time. Start now and never stop.